Thanks for watching the video, guys. Now I'm still trying to give away this brand new pair of Nike Air Force Ones. They're a UK size 10, and all you've got to do to be with a chance of winning these is subscribe to the Sports Centre YouTube channel. That's it. It's completely free, doesn't cost you a penny, and as soon as I hit 100 subscribers, these are getting sent to one lucky winner. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button now, and I'll catch you in a bit. Hello and welcome to the Sports Centre YouTube channel, as we are well in the mix, really in the mix now of the summer transfer window. Me and Carl are here to discuss one particular club who's been fairly active in the window, Carl, the Hammers, West Ham themselves.
The Irons.
The Irons, yeah. We've got previous with the Irons fans, haven't we? So we thought we'd try and kiss and make up with them.
Absolutely, we're not here to insult or annoy anyone. So we're a loving set of people. So let's just try and make amends.
That's it. So as I was saying, West Ham have been, I'm going to say fairly, but been very active in this window. Kind of just want to rattle through some of their top signings, shall we say? 4 or 5 of their a bit more well-known signings and see what we think of them. So first one I want to start with, Max Kilman, centre-back from Wolves, 40 million quid. What do you think?
Good signing. I don't agree with the price. I think the price is mental, if I'm honest.
Well, I think they originally waiting at 25, didn't they? Got rejected.
I mean, I don't know how old he is. I presume he's young.
27.
Really? Yeah, that seems steep to me.
Do you think? I think it's a good sign. I mean, do you know what? I've had my eye on him I've rated him. I thought he's a good player now for probably last couple of seasons, and I'm surprised it's taken this long to get a move to the next level.
I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've not watched a lot of him, but decent. 40 mils. I don't know. Seems a touch steep. I think 30. Which is obviously why West Ham went in at 25, because I agree with that sort of ballpark rather than the 40. But end of the day, you pay what you're willing to pay.
They've obviously won him, haven't they? And they thought, you know what, we're not willing to kind of go back and forth with you. Like 25 mil at table, no, we want this. There you go, have that. He's our man.
Yeah, fair play, good business.
Yeah, I think so too. I
wish my club were like that. You know, when someone who says that this is the fee, it was like, well, we'll offer you a little bit less. It's like, just freaking pay it. You obviously want him, just pay it.
Yeah. Next one, which we're probably going to just skid over because I've never heard of this guy, but a young lad from Palmeiras, Luis Guil. Pardon me if I get this pronunciation wrong, but Guilherme, is it? Guilherme?
Yeah, mate.
Guilherme, yeah. Again, though, I think he's only a young lad. I think he is 18-year-old. 25 million I'm reading. To be fair, I've read a couple of things about 20 million, I've read 25 million, so you're in that category.
I've heard a little bit of a guy called Tim Vickery, who's a South American sort of sports journalist, expert, whatever. And they said they've taken a bit of a punt on him, haven't they?
Apparently he's not played that much, has he?
No, so they've taken like a bit of a punt on him. And to be honest, I think 25 million for a punt in this climate is probably about right, especially for someone his age. You know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I think I listened to him today, and he made an example with Vinicius Jr.
Really?
No, Madrid. No, not comparing him, but it was that. But what he did say was that Vinny Jr. went to Madrid for 40 million, and didn't play a great deal of before they signed him.
So they basically bought him on a potential. You bought his potential, didn't they? Pretty much.
And look at him now. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to live up to that, but you know, I think 25 million for a punt is probably the going rate. I think so. We'll see what happens with him.
One thing as well, just to put out, I was just watching. Funny you mentioned Tim Vickery because I was just watching some on him as well. But I was also watching the actual player's first interview, and he actually speaks for an 18-year-old Brazilian kid. just speaks pretty decent English, and I think sometimes that's a bit of a setback for some South American players. I know, like Darwin Núñez has been over here like 3 years now, and I don't think he could even speak fluent English. So it just,
Well, it just shows his intention that he obviously wanted to come to England or America at some point in his life. Otherwise, he wouldn't have learned them languages, would he?
yeah,
This language.
yeah. Next one to touch on, probably one of the main one for him is Summerville from Leeds.
We were linked with him for a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're linked with everyone. But what I did see of him last season for Leeds, he was by far their best player, in my opinion.
Player at Championship, wasn't he, apparently, I think.
Oh, Warren, well, there you go. Decent player, but I think me and you had a conversation a few days ago, and I don't think he's not going to be a starter every week. I'd be very surprised if he is, because he's obviously it's competition for Bowen and Kudus.
I think more Kudus in it, because I think Summerville plays from the left, does he? I think predominantly.
I thought he played from the right, but I don't know if he plays across all the front. I'm not sure. But a decent signing. I don't know what they paid for him. Is it 25, 30?
I've seen a few things. I've read that it's an undisclosed fee, but I've got some figures here that around about the 30 million mark.
I think decent business. I think
yeah.
Decent signing. Definitely a really good squad player at the very minimum.
22 as well, 22-year-old. So seems that what West Ham are definitely looking to buy to the future.
Yeah.
Or for the future.
Well, yeah.
And then the latest signing, which I think was kind of made official yesterday or earlier on this week, is Niclas Füllkrug from Borussia Dortmund.
Decent, but that counteracts what you just said about going that young, because he's not young, is he?
No, he's just got it in front of me. 31.
But I didn't realise he was that old. I thought he was in his late 20s, but still decent signing. What they paid for him?
27 and a half, I'm reading.
Maybe for the 31-year-old, maybe a touch of steep side, but he's still probably got 4 or 5 years.
Well, I think that's it. I think one thing that West Ham have missed for years now is a proper out-and-out striker, someone who can lead that line. I know Antonio does an half-decent job. They've had Danny Ings up there. They signed Halle a couple of years ago, and
Scamacca,
yeah, but he's another one. Although he haunted Liverpool last season in the Europa League, but none of them, apart from Antonio, have really made it stick. And the only thing with Antonio, he can't rely on him because his fitness record is terrible.
I mean, he puts a shift in, doesn't he, when he plays? But he's
absolutely.
not. But he's also not. He's not prolific. Don't bag goals, and I think Füllkrug is a focal point in it. You let your Bowen, your Summervilles, your Kudus, your Paquetas do all this work around him. He'll just stay up top, which is what we were crying out for England, for Kane to do. Just stay up top, and he'll be an absolute nuisance. Füllkrug, he'll bully his centre backs.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good signing. I know, so his record's pretty decent as well. I mean, just going on his record last year alone, played 29 games and scored 12 goals. I know it doesn't sound amazing in Bundesliga, but it's a goal every 2.5 games. You know what I mean? It's not bad.
It's decent. It's decent. Like I said, Bowen scores goals, Paqueta scores goals. They've plenty of players around him that scores.
Yeah, and also as well, I mean, he's got experience Champions League. He's a German international. I think West Ham, to be fair, have done a pretty good business there for Dusa, because I know, Tottenham are saying that they're crying out for a striker. Solanke's been touted around with them over the last few days. And I think there's a few clubs that have missed a trick on Füllkrug here, because he had a decent summer in Euros.
He did. I was just going to say the same thing. I can't believe more teams aren't coming for him, and I'm also surprised Dortmund have let him go. I don't know whether they needed the money. I don't know whether they've looked at his age, maybe, but for some reason they've let him go, and I'm so shocked other teams aren't coming for him.
Do you think the reason why? So the teams that spring to mind are Man U crying out for a striker, Tottenham potentially crying out for a striker, maybe even Newcastle to an extent a little bit as a bit of a backup for Isak. Do you think he's seen as, like, the best way to put this now, uh, I sort of probably doing Peter Crouch a bit of injustice here, but seeing as just a target man number 9, whereas all them teams that I've listed, they're all trying to play nice, intricate football, and he don't fit into that mold. Whereas they've probably thought he's not the one for us.
I don't know because obviously under the David Moyes, I'd probably agree with that, but we don't know what Lopetegui is going to want to do because he tends to play 3-4-3, don't he, with wing backs.
Mm.
So we'll see. Is he going to want a focal point at the top to just stay there? Is he going to want more mobiles in like an Ivan Toney or Solanke?
I mean, in terms of them teams that haven't gone for him, like like your Spurs, your Man United, who are crying out for a striker. Do you reckon they've kind of turned the nose up at him because they think that potentially don't fit into their system?
No, maybe so, but I think sometimes you need that alternative option. You try that one way that you want to play, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Therefore, you need to bring on a Füllkrug, a Crouch.
Well, that's how Germany used him, didn't they, in Euros?
Yeah, yeah. They started up front with Havertz, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then brought him on. I can't remember the last game, the game that they got knocked out with Spain. Spain,
yeah.
And he missed an header right at last minute.
Yeah.
Just not that sent it to extra time. I think if I'm right in thinking.
Yeah, I think you're right,
mate. He's a threat. He's an absolute threat. He's a machine, really. Ugly fella. Not that I'm the prettiest, but he's an ugly fella. But he's he knows where onion bag is. That's for sure.
He does. Just before we leave, then predictions on where West Ham will finish in the league, or whereabouts roughly.
Well, I don't think they're finished in transfer market yet because they're still they're linked with Wan-Bissaka as well.
Oh bloody hell! Yeah, I mean, not even touched on that.
I don't know what else they've been linked with, as we keep saying. We're not West Ham fans, we're not avid followers, but it's just what we're hearing in the media. But I think they'll be pushing definitely for a European spot. I do think there'll be a top 8 finish for them. To be fair.
Yeah, I reckon so. I think they've just got to be a little bit careful because we've seen it before sometimes where teams go and spend quite a lot of money in the transfer window. They bring 5, 6, 7 players in, and it takes time to get them all to gel together, doesn't it? So they just need to make sure that they keep the likes of your Bowens, your Kudos,
your nucleus.
Yeah, your spine of your team.
I mean, it's going to be interesting now what happens with the Paquetá, however you want to pronounce him. Because I think latest we've heard is they're letting him play now, aren't they? They're not until they're not banned him immediately until the investigation gone a bit further down the line or something.
Well, they'll have to, won't
they? So if he's playing, then I'd definitely challenge him. If he's not, I think he is a massive loss for him, and I think there's a big hole to fill in there.
No, I agree, but still think even if they leave, I think I agree with you as well. Top 8 finish, I think it's realistic for them, and I think teams like that as well crying out for a good cup run.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think there's a few of them teams though. To be fair, it's about time this the usual top 4 don't play in a cup, just so it gives everyone else a bit of a chance. I mentioned it on a different pod.
We did.
Yeah, the teams like your Newcastle's, Tottenham's, Villa's, West Ham's, Brighton's, these teams, they need to feel as though they've actually got a realistic chance. Not just a one-off year. But anyway.
We'll see what happens for another day. Right. Hope we've not upset any of you West Ham fans out there. Let us know in the comments what you think of your new signings. Even if you're not a West Ham fan, let us know what you think of the signings that West Ham have made. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video as always. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you in a bit. See you later.